All right, everybody, welcome to another episode of What Talk Show. The Nyaw Bakatewagi.
It's still around there. Look for
Just kidding. Tewagi ba?
Cara
Just
lila.
kidding. Kira clickbait lah mana. Kita pakai ni dah the interest lah dengan kena the rest of the podcast. But I promise you, some good content. Okay. Our kaya brother Andrew mana. I mean, nak kau ada terkenyang. Nah, when pastinya arkil leta ko klade ar pastinya le bola awa amido kita la me mana amerzone channel pastinya kita la temine la pata ko klade temu ko klade pastinya la when pada kala to order filter ba awa ke agacha 100% all the time la na le pa pata menya wata pa menya le thro le awa bara the same Andrew lah mana aku ni. Tell me about yourself, bro. Who's Andrew Nyaw?
Andrew is a giving name for me when I first go to America. So I had it for a while. Some of my friends call me Andrew, but my giving name, current name is Nyaw, which is current bag, and my call sign is Jackie, which some of my friends in Europe know me through that consign, and our children in Gautule call me, Gautule Terpre, because I always wear and scare them, kind of like, it's a fun way to, have a nickname that they call me by, so.
Okay, so tell me more about your background. What, before you are the Andrew you are right now, what did you do? Like, what did you study? Where did you serve in the U.S. military? If you did, for how long? And where?
My experience is I went to America in 2004. Been about 20 years. Graduated high school. Right after high school, I joined the military, so about 8 years. I have an extensive experience in the military. I've been involved in it for 16 years now, and I came home, just to help out in a way. It's been a fruitful 3 years, frustrating but really fruitful
All
3
right.
years to connect, to come back home and connect with our friends back here. So,
Okay, so before you started coming back, what did you do? I mean, after the army.
after the army, I sort of struggled a little bit with work, but after a few years, I found trucking. I just go straight for trucking, and with the help of family, I sort of get successful at it, and I do a lot of investment. Investment is the future now, I think, for all of us, in Kautule, especially for the current people. I don't think a lot of young people know about it, so that's something that we should talk about today. So that's all I've been doing for the last 3 years was trucking, and then right after that, I decided to leave and come home and help our people.
Yeah.
So
Okay. So before we dive into the trucking experience of yours or the military experience of yours, people like numbers, People like crazy numbers. Like if you don't tell them, oh, this is what I made within 6 months or a year, then they're not interested in, listen to all the details. But say if there's a clickbait, watch how I made 200,000 a year. Watch how I made 150,000 a year. So tell me a little bit about trucking, and before you go in details, if you can share, say what's the record? How much did you made in your record year?
I think trucking in America is right now is very popular with our current people. It's probably one of the better job out there, and it is one of the least level of education needed to get involved in trucking. Mostly you have to have experience. Now, when you talk about numbers, right, trucking, on average, if you're working for a company, you average between 6 to 8,000 with 2 years experience. But with someone with, do a job that require a lot of experience, like hauling cars, for example, you could go up from 8 to 20,000. Now, if you own the truck, the number go even higher. So right now, a lot of our people are in it. I think it's for their own good. I think trucking is, for any young Korean, especially guys and girls. I think they should pursue it. It's only cost $5,000 to actually get a license for trucking. So if you know how to drive, you like freedom, you want to work on your schedule, go ahead. Trucking is pretty much open jobs and it's bringing in a lot of income. On average, I think for me it's 120 to 150,000 every year if I keep going every year. But I sort of left that career to come back home and help out people. So that job is come with many benefits and some of it's, with any jobs is for you face difficulties, a lot of difficulties.
Why do you think you like that job? Maybe it's not for everybody, but why do you think why do you think you like it so much?
I like trucking because I think I personally love to work by myself. I don't like anybody to be a boss on me, and that's one of the reasons why I do trucking. 2 is to gain financial freedom, and 3 is to truly start growing my investment account. Throughout my whole career, I think I focus mostly to have the financial freedom. So I saw trucking as a way up, for every year you get a huge amount of money with lesser education needed in the country, especially in the U.S.
What's your definition of financial freedom?
Financial freedom is, having the lifestyle that you could travel, you could go anywhere, and still have some form of income. Right? Is job that comfortable. You don't need to be worried about if I could pay the next bill. Right? You always have some form of income every month. That's financial freedom. So
it's like you're free from sticking to one location.
Yeah.
And free from sticking to 9 to 5.
9 to 5, yeah.
So
that's
time and location and money, freedom. You don't have to worry about money all the time. So okay. So say, why did you get into the investment world? Why is it important to invest, and what is an investment for people that?
Investment is essentially, when you think about it, right? You work, you make money, but you take that large chunk of money and you put it in, you invest it. So the money will will increase by itself. Essentially, let the money work for itself. So in the long run, you might put $200,000 this year, and in 4 or 5 years, it will be double, triple, depending on the economy. So for a lot of current people in general, I think our people in general, we tend to invest more on family stability other than, trying to gain financial freedom. So a lot of people buy houses, and instead of buying houses, someone like me, I tend to just want to invest in the market. So grow my larger share because,
Explain, how?
How
does it work?
How does it work? Well, to have in something like stock market, for example, you need.
Wait. Let me interrupt you real quick. So my question is, say you have 100,000 now, and you want to make or double it or triple it. What's your next move? You have 100,000 now in your hands.
Well, I do stock. Now I recommend for a beginner investor, I recommend something safer route. So for me, I just simply like to buy, S&P 500, like SPY, something that is, I know in the long run, right now it's around 600, but I know in 5 to 6 years or even 10 years, it could be 1,200, 1,500, 2,000. Unless, somehow the market just go into recession, then that's a great opportunity. I like when the opportunity is down because I get to buy more. So essentially, is when you take that large chunk of money, you just put it into some form of funds. You can manage it or let somebody else manage it for you. I like to see my own money, have control of my money. So yeah, that's the investment. I think it's a large topic to discuss, but we could definitely talk about it.
We could actually talk like days about, I think, just investment and what you should investing in and what you should invest in, and stuff like that. That can be a topic for a whole other day. People that wants to learn more about finance, investment, financial freedom, you guys can comment down below, and then we can pick another day and talk about just finance. If you have $1,000, how do you make it? How do you multiply it, or make it 10K? How do you make 10K to 100K? This guy is like legit using himself as example. So I think we have a lot we can learn from you, but that's okay. We can save that for another day. Now, I want to ask you about why did you choose to come back and to back to your homeland and
sort of funny, but a girl broke my heart. No, really. I mean, being in the United States for 20 years, I think that some of us current we tend to miss our home because I grew up in Kothule, between the age of 1 till when I born in Kothule. I left it when I was like 8, so I sort of miss that, miss my grandparents, me and my uncle, sort of miss the current lifestyle back home. In America, it's always busy, you always work, and that's all you worry about is like work. Back home, I come back, and I'm like, I truly enjoy that freedom, just to live my life day to day and be happy. I want to be free of, depression. That's what the army gave me. So,
depression,
yeah.
If you're busy enough, you keep yourself busy enough, then there's no time for depression. For me, personally, I don't believe in depression. I don't want to believe in it, or I don't give it space. I don't give it time. Try to keep busy. I think not that I don't believe it exists. I just choose not to believe that it can get to me, or it can because I consider myself as a pretty mentally strong person. Because just the way I break it down, and then is this gonna help me? Nope. I take it away. Is this gonna help me? Nope. I set it aside. Is it gonna serve me well? Serve my friends? Serve my family? Nope. Then I let it go. So I think that's how I cope with like hard stuff.
Yeah, you have a strong filter. You have a strong filter. For me, to deal with depression, I just work.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah.
So, because there was a person that commented on my Facebook today. He's like, there's a I can actually read it right now. I just about mental health. Let's just address it right away. It's the page is called Mind Reset. He wrote. Let me screenshot it real quick. Hi, Wa. Just wanted to share a little about what I'm building with Mental Reset. It's a space for youth and families in the current community who are silently struggling with mental health, trauma, and feeling lost. Many young people are overwhelmed, and a lot of parents don't know how to help them. This page exists to guide hearts, share truth, and offer real hope. Not just surface motivation, but something that helps people reset from the inside. So, yeah, I'm not going to read the rest. So, you already know you're from the States. I'm from Norway. You're from Minnesota, right? There's most of the Korean people that resell in the United States are in Minnesota, right? Especially St. Paul.
Yeah.
So, I see a lot of youth struggling with mental health, drugs, maybe abuse at home, or trauma, just like the text I read. So, what's your take on this? How do you think we can, how do we address this?
I think a lot of current people they are afraid to reach out. And a lot of young people are afraid to reach out to resources that are available to them to get help when they need it. Because a lot of our parents, when we moved to America, they're so busy with just keeping, tab on the bill, sort of pay, work, pay bill. So they're typically not home often. I experienced it with my parents. Dad working like 12 hours a day for like the last 10 years. So as kids, we tend to just goof off, play soccer, but a lot of things such as churches, just activity like churches, just stay tapped with your community, go to churches, get involved, play sports. A lot of things that you can do to not get into this sort of bad habit for yourself. Because I have lots of few friends that do drugs. So I grew up with them, and they're no longer here, but I'm still here. So
yeah. But put the poder pamna la na pa nyaklo le all US me all tikla kakla mana all wati wa called our tanana Latin not well oriented. A lot in it takisa mo pa bale tama la de kwatwa de kluania. So yeah. You can tell a message directly to the youth. Pala apu de no a cho de a dapu de me one record this short clip, screen record this, la share ne di mana te bia di ne. Na pe the kama demu de po de mana di mo all takora ke che ta na di mo all le hia le kle ka pa le chuana pa awa di mo pa di mo pala de wala to no ga ba ne. Timu chomola de tamu ketali ne awa akera tage du khonu golma chomo diri tulo diri la de tabla bla ba de me chomola e tamu e de kleva e lu put ola ba ne gelo ko de halu ko hani awa mitha tegya non men me ba me ba khwa de tho thi chi nta chomola a me nu la khonu bu ne ma ho gelen na body de je po na suwa ne na suwa yire ita ta chomo me thar khane sun body ka chera chenna de tho chi ya na ma yire ita la ne na mo na body na we na mo pa ne mo na we o cho khlira awe gira na suwa ara ta mo pa ne ta ba ti la wala ta me la ba khu do mi la me bu ta ba ti la wala ba suwa ba ho ba ge khon me ma na ge na awe portrer da khile na khunu na chira na ta chomo de chira na ta ni mu de ara na tida ka po ara la na re direct ko de ara mura mana halwa kla khone na ka na peta ko da ke ta khi che to ba na hane lu khu ala ka si ka sa klari at open ma ta sa ne open ma na lu khu ala awe bgda le na ka cha ko bu ma na da ba la ko khone na ma gira na ka cha no ko nu na sa me si ba na ma gira le na ko ta chu kle na ma se la na tablogan na ko ra chokle ne mo chokle ne ba de aporta da ki na sa no ko na wa o chokle ra po ne ki de de awone pu ko po mana ke ra awe tu cho na tu tia tu kha por ga na ta he ku ta he ge ba de mana awone ta chi ri da ha go ri ta mo pu ko por khai ne awe te me thi ba po da te se klo de me o a lon le de o num na ne ha ko ne wa le de la awe da ne ba te ko ade te te la mana bcha no te gana ta le khop lo oje da samu to ko le pse nya le asuba ke si ke sa at chumola ta mu ke tali a lu pit olaba mo ba de elaba samu to ko te re elaba num na ya ne ta le khop lo samu to ko le pa le to ko le re ba de oje na ke ne pa te le he ba la se la mana o ta mu na te din ba
yeah the young generation of current need to find mentor. They need mentor too. You have to have good circle of friends that can always inspire to be better than you were yesterday. And the last one I say is find a purpose in life. You wanna be a doctor, pursue it. You want be a successful entrepreneur, pursue it. You wanna come back home, be useful, help your people back home. That can be a purpose too. So as long as you are purpose driven, you'll be okay. I think America
Yeah.
has a lot of opportunity for all of us.
Mm.
So
Yeah. By the way, reach out to the urban village in Minnesota, St. Paul, and there are good people there that works there. I know people like Kazia, people like Jesse, people like Eletha, people like Eso, Krishna, those Carly, those people are good people. Reach out to them, they will help you. If you need help mentally, socially, anything, let them know. They will figure out some way to help you. They are genuine people, mana. I think tu kita wa pakanyola yo pole edo mache tu jata bola mana. I'm gonna reach out to the urban village, and then yeah, they will take it from there. All right, let's hop on to the next topic. I want to talk about Kathuli and its economy.
mhm.
Why do you think we rely a lot on people in the diaspora world to always sending money back home?
Why do we
And
rely on?
why can we not become financially sustainable by ourselves? And if you were one of the leaders, if you had the full authority, how would you develop Kathule's economy and build a strong army and build a strong education system and build a strong infrastructure? Or how would you do it?
When when we talk about something like economy wise, I think that our current people mindset is quick, fix it. But when it comes to investment, it's not just a day fix. It's like you're looking at about 5, 10, 15 years. It's to invest in Gautule is right now during wartime is a huge risk. And because of the war in Gautule, a lot of young kids, a lot of current people tend to leave, exit the country. Now they're waiting in Thailand and they want to go to America, Europe, Australia. But to invest in Gautule right now, what would I do? I would put our resources and take it outside of the country. I think that's the safest way to do it. 3 years ago, we advised about that, but I don't think enough leaders listen to it.
Like how? Explain. How would you take? What kind of resources would you take out of the country, and how would you invest it? How would you multiply it or triple it?
Let's just say, when you receive, you have to gather our people outside of, not just in Gautule, right? Like in America, all over the world, we have to gather our people, our strength, and we put it in a centralized system where we could invest. Something as simple as apartment complex, right? When you think about it, it's like 30 years investment into it. If we would have done 3 years ago, we would have some form of income back into our country already. And, if we do it as a country, it's not just going to be, a few 100,000. We talk about in millions, right? It's a large effort and bringing a large amount of money back home. And when you take that investment and slowly multiply it through 5, 10, 15 years, you will, in the long run, you will have, $4, $5, $10 million coming back a month. But we have to do it as a country. With that amount of money, you could build school, you could build road, you could sponsor kids to go to, university, build university inside the country. You could do a lot of things in our country right now. I know for a fact with just $10,000, you could open like 50 acres of land in Gautule and, plant a lot of fruits and then a lot of, farms for the people, giving the jobs. Because right now, when I travel Gautule, one thing that I notice is like the land is very empty and the people tend not to use it. One reason They don't use it because they're scared of the war. Of course, that's natural instinct for human, but because they also lack, the resources from the government support to give them some form of idea to use the land. We have a lot of land. We have a lot of land. You travel, for example, in Brigade 4, you go all the way inside in the middle of the brigade. It's about like 6 hours. You barely see anybody. Couple of village, and that's about it.
So how would you use those lands?
I say
Lands?
a lot of farm. I think right now is with every country you tend to just start economically. You have to start at farming level. Before you have a larger farm, you build factories, and there's a lot of young people with ideas. There's also you let our current people from those that have been educated to come back and give the idea back to the people. And with the fund that we, of course, as a country, we put it, in America, for example, we bring it back monthly, in a smaller amount, and continue to grow it. We will be able to, educate our people, and at the same time provide them, a startup mean for the business.
All right. So you have, say you have 10 million USD right now. What's your first move in KTL?
I think 10 million is quite a small amount for the country.
All right.
10 million is quite a small amount. I think my first move would be to establish some form of banking system. It might take more than 10 millions, but a banking system, our own form of banking system, would be nice. But of course, you can't just risk into one investment area. You have to start with school, for example, school, hospital, provide some form of job for the people to return home, and at the same time, keep building road, because they need road to function as a society. We need road, water, electricity. So, and right now I see, when I go to like camps and talk to young people, some of them tend to don't want to return home because of that lack of basic necessity like water, electricity, and internet. A lot of them don't want to go home because of that. And if something as having Starlink, for example, right, so useful, like even one single Starlink is useful for the whole village. You think about it, right? It's a small investment, but it's a window opportunity for the people to open up to a modern world and see the world and learn from it. So 10 investment as a country is very small. It's very small. But we have to start somewhere. Right now, I don't think there's such investment for the people as a group. We don't have, like, for example, Thailand have Thai unions. We don't have that sort of investment for our people, right? Because if we keep going this route, right, we continue sending our money home to support our people. Sure, that's a nice thing, but it's for short term. We can't sustain ourselves as long term. We need some form of investment as a group of people, as a nation, to help our people in the future. Because 5 years, let's give an example. 5 years from now, when the war ends, what's gonna happen? Are people return home? Are we still gonna live in huts, or are they still gonna lack road? Because I'm sure right now in Brigade 4 there's only one road. So you think about it, it's pretty hard life for our people.
Yeah. So when you talk about come back home and invest, say you have 20 people that are millionaires. How do you want to invite them to invest back home? Or say you're in a leading position right now, in a position of authority, and you can give them access to kind of invest in Kadule. what? How would you invite them, and what would you tell them to invest in right now, based on the situation we're in right now?
I think it would be right now at the moment it would be quite impossible to invite even a single millionaire to come back home. But if there's 20 millionaire, I think Kenya wise, you should start with land. Land is the most profitable things for the people, and the safest thing for a lot of rich people. They love land because land, once you start putting in your name for it, you can use it in the long run. So they want land right now. Even I'm telling you, even like $5,000 you could give a job for a village to start a small farm, pig farm, chicken farm, just the little things. We don't necessarily have to have a lot of millionaire to invest in country, but as long as we as individual do something for our people every year, there's room for growth in the country.
So you think if, say, the millionaires, you probably know a bunch, or a dozen current millionaires in U.S. right now that are not like officially, or like not open about it in the public.
Yeah.
So you're saying they would be more interested in, say, a kind of give and take give and take. Say a piece of land for this amount of money that gives them ownership of okay, you own that shit, that piece of land. So I not just sending home money all the time and it disappears in ammunition, it disappears in medicine, and sometimes you don't even know where it goes. So I think I think that could be a good idea where people there's a set up a proper system for it, people that are qualified to manage those kind of fund and are have the authority to not sell land, but like give the people from abroad to invest back home, and you're not selling it to a foreigner, you're selling it to your own people, or maybe people that are already from there, kind of they invest in it and they own a piece of land. When in the future, when the war is over, they come back and they have a piece of land.
Every country have a rich family. I think that's the way a nation is growth in the long terms. But right now in Kotule, is one thing that destroy us is the trust between the people and the leaderships. And when there's trust between the people and the leadership, the richest people tend to not listen to it, tend to not get involved. They rather not to get involved with this stuff. They tend to just keep hiding, do their own thing, grow themselves. But hopefully one day, we have more people coming back. But right now the trust is destroyed because of the war. And because there's lack of opportunity in the country, a lot of our people tend to, they tend to take more, a lot of corruption. So any sort of investment have to come with some form of guarantee. For example, if I invested $1 million, I want this land to be on my name, to be on my family name, and it must come with some form of guarantee. Like, for example, what if junta take over it and I can't have it back? What's the guarantee? I'm gonna have maybe a bar of gold or somewhere. You know what I mean? You can't just risk that much money during the wartime. But wartime is very cheap. I mean, I saw a lot of land, bro. I want to start paying people, just start growing some farm for me. But right now me personally, I have to focus on more of myself now and still continue supporting our people. So we all have to grow. And there's so much room in Kotule right now. I see it. There's so much more room in Kotule to grow than Thailand.
So a follow-up question: what's the fine line between taking advantage of the situation and actually investing in the situation to become better? Because say people that do not understand the they would just think sibuaye sibuaye, but they don't think about maybe long-term development.
Yeah.
They don't understand like investment. There's a lot of people who have a lot of money, but why would they? Of course, everybody wants their country. Everybody wants the people to win. Everybody wants the Kathule to thrive, to win, and to being rebuilt or being built up beautifully. But why would I spend, say, $1 million or 10 million? If I had that kind of money, I think just love for the country alone won't do it for most people that have a lot of money. That's what I think. So it's not like the fine line between greed and kind of intentionally with pure hearted want to invest in the development of their own country. What would you say?
Oh man, it's just it's up to each one of us. If we find it, because at the end of the day, once you reach certain level of money, you tend to see it as is something that you no longer need to pursue. So if you find a purpose back home that you want to help your people, you can help your people, and you can help your people to the point where you don't own anything anymore. But we will always keep, like for me, for example, I have 3 basic rules, right? 3 basic account. One is my personal account, working account, my investment, and then my retirement. And my retirement, I kept it since 2011. So now this one is like my golden egg. I never touch it. And my investment account is something that I keep, growing. And right now, because the last 3 years, not the last 3 years, but since New Year, I stop working and I come home. There's not income coming to my working account, so pulling from my investment account. But for our current people, they just had to dig deep down inside themselves. What can they do for the country, right? It's at some point you have to realize it that America is not a forever home for us. Kothule will be the 4th country that our family have to travel back to, right? It's our first country and will be our 4th country. So you have to have some form of plan, right? What if Thailand no longer accept us, right? Where will we go, right? We have a border we could cross back, and we have some form of investment already that working toward our people, and our people actually seeing the possibility of having jobs and having success in an opportunity in the country. They will come back home. Money works when you let the people work for your money, right? And then there's a lot of trust issue, but eventually, it's going to get better. The country will get better as long as us as Korean we start working toward it, make it better for our people.
All right, bro. So we've been covering a lot of topics today, and this is just, I think, one of our very first episode. He will still be here a few months, a few years, maybe.
Yeah.
You never know. So
1 year.
yeah,
I think
we might be ending up hosting this podcast together, talk about all the different topics. You guys will be commenting and tell us what we should cover, especially now. Israel and Iran war is it's gonna be a big mess. So yeah, maybe we can look into what the consequences will be for our people. Like, who cares about our people? Especially now, who cares about Burma? Everybody fight their own war. Why would people care about us? And then why we should not expect any kind of support from the international superpower, and figure things out on our own and do things our own way.
Yeah. I'm tired, man. So last 16 years, man, I'm tired. Sometimes it's just like I just want to go back to our jungle and just live my life simple, a little cabin, and have a little boat, fishing, and able to access the market,
Wife, kids.
Yeah, wife, kids, maybe wife's kids. At the moment, I'm not too sure, man. But yeah, the modern lifestyle compared to our old ways of life, I find our old ways of life more beautiful, more peaceful. Is the Western world is kind of chaotic when you get into it. But a lot of our people want to go to, America. I do advise them if they do go. I recommend, they work and not depend so much on going to America and live there forever. Just work and bring some form of, income for yourself and come back home and build a life for yourself, and at the same time, help your people. Work with your right hand for your family. Your left hand, help the revolutions, help our people to a greater cause.
That's a good one. All right, we're going to wrap this up. See you in the next episode.